on all of this. Republican Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland is joining us right now. Governor Hogan, thank you very much for joining us. So no matter what you and other like-minded Republicans may think, the former president's big lie does not appear to be going away anytime soon. You heard what he just said today. I'm worried about that because potentially, tell me if you agree, this could be dangerous.
Well, it doesn't really come as a surprise, Wolf. I think none of us really expected Donald Trump to change his mind or to change his story, and so it's not surprising. It is concerning, however, that we continue to focus on this when I and others are concerned that the Republicans have got to start stepping up and telling the truth, and we've got to get back to the roots of our party and figure out how to win elections in the future, because the longer we continue down this path, the more difficult it is for us to ever get back the House or the Senate, or to elect governors in other states, or to win back the White House.
Because if he continues to rile up his base with this big lie that he won the election, potentially there could be more insurrections down the road. That's what worries me.
Well, I sure hope not, Wolf. But we've given up long ago trying to control what Donald Trump says or what he thinks, and unfortunately, he's not going to go away quietly. I don't think not too many of us expected that he would, but I believe there's going to be a real battle for the soul of the Republican Party that's going to last for years. This is not an easy thing, and a lot of people who supported the president who are not crazy conspiracy theorists that did vote for him but did not believe the lie about the election. And there are some folks that in the Senate and in the House who did stand up. There are people like me been willing to speak out. And I think as time goes on, that Trump will still have a major impact on the Republican Party, but I think his influence is going to wane as the days go by.
It certainly hasn't waned yet. There's a new Quinnipiac University national poll that just came out, Governor. It finds that 75% of Republicans want Trump to play a prominent role in the GOP going forward. So even if the majority of Republican senators, let's say they still back the minority leader, Mitch McConnell, at least behind the scenes, the party is still seems to be behind Trump right now. Has your party, and I'll ask this bluntly, has your party left you and other reasonable Republicans behind?
Well, I guess that's the million-dollar question, and that's what time will tell. I mean, some people may be ready to give up, but others like me are willing to stand up and fight for the party that we've been a part of for decades, that Donald Trump did a hostile takeover of. I mean, look, we're going to figure the answer to that out, but it's going to take the next 2 years or 4 years before we really know what the end result is going to be.
Let's talk about the coronavirus. The President Biden said during last night's CNN town hall that 600 million coronavirus vaccine doses will be available by the end of July. Once vaccine supply is no longer an issue, will you have the capability in your state of Maryland to get those doses to your citizens?
Absolutely. Well, if we have the capability now, the big problem for every state, every county, and every city, every health department, and every hospital in America is that we do not have enough vaccines, and that's something everybody is pressing for. We had a productive discussion yesterday with the coronavirus team. I just got off a call with some of the leaders, including Johnson & Johnson, who are working on the next vaccine. We hope to get that emergency use authorization. We have an infrastructure in Maryland right now that can do 50 to 100,000 vaccines a day. And we're only getting 12,000 a day. So, as soon as no matter when they get us those vaccines, we're ready to put them in someone's arm. We've delivered 100% of the doses we've been allocated out to our 2,300 providers across the state, and 90% of them are actually in someone's arm. The other 10% are already scheduled.
The White House is standing by CDC guidance, as you know, Governor, that teachers should be prioritized for vaccinations, but it is not necessarily a requirement for schools to reopen that all the teachers have the vaccine. Now, you're pushing schools in Maryland to reopen by March 1st. That's very soon. What will happen to a teacher who doesn't return because that teacher doesn't necessarily feel safe?
Well, I don't think we should force people to go back into a classroom if they don't feel safe. But, Maryland right now, so first of all, we were one of the first states in the country to put teachers into the prioritization, and they are getting vaccines. But as you mentioned, the CDC says that should not be a prerequisite. We also have some of the best metrics. We're in the top 10 in the country. Our positivity rate is down to 4%, hospitalizations dropping, cases dropping, deaths dropping. So we're in great shape. The CDC guidelines say every one of our county school systems can open. 22 of them either have already brought some kids back in for in-person instructions, or they've agreed to do so by March 1st.
You've been putting some pressure on the
22 out of 24.
Yeah, you've been putting some pressure, Governor, on the Biden administration to push for a bipartisan coronavirus stimulus deal. Have you received any assurances from the White House or from congressional Republicans, for that matter, that they're willing to compromise and get something both sides, or at least a majority of Democrats and Republicans, can agree on?
Well, I had about an hour-and-a-half meeting on Friday in the Oval Office with both the president and vice president, where I tried to make that case very strongly. The president seemed to be receptive to it. I believe that there are Republican governors and senators and congressmen who would like to see a compromise bill. We agreed that we need help for state and local governments, that people are suffering out there that need some relief. But I also pointed out that there were extraneous things included in this $1.9 trillion bill that weren't really acceptable to Republicans, that weren't part of the coronavirus recovery or immediate economic stimulus. And I told the president my opinion was that it was better for him if he was willing to work with Republicans on a compromise rather than kind of a take it or leave it approach where it's my way or the highway, and they're going to cram it through with only Democratic votes. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's good for the country, and I don't think it's good for President Biden and his future success in getting things through Congress.
What did he say to you?
He was receptive, but he didn't make any commitments. He said, "Look, I do want to work together in a bipartisan way," but he didn't make any specific commitments to taking anything out of the bill. Other than, I think, I raised the issue of, look, $15 minimum wage. We could debate whether that makes sense or not, but it is not. It should not be part of the emergency stimulus bill. And he said he thought that might come out of the bill.
All right, we'll see if it does. Governor Hogan, good luck to you. Good luck to everyone in Maryland. Thanks so much for joining us.